Hello Kabir, welcome to Bollywood Live. So my first question is, this is your third film with Salman, and as this is third time is the lucky. So in the words of Tubelight, क्या आपको यकीन है? Do you believe it?
देखिए, आई थिंक यकीन तो हमेशा होता है अगर एक we've made a film that we are happy with, तो एक यकीन होता है कि जो आपको अच्छा लग रहा है वो होपफुली ऑडियंस को भी अच्छा लगेगा. बिकॉज ऑनेस्टली मैं समझता हूँ कि एवरी फिल्म मेकर मेक्स अ फिल्म दैट ही और शी लाइक्स टू वॉच, because we are the only people we know ourselves 100%. So if we like it, we hope that the others will also share our vision and like it. So yeah, Tubelight is a film we're very confident about.
So do you remember the first time, maybe back in 2012 or 11 when you were making Ek Tha Tiger, when you first met Salman Khan? Do you remember your meeting? How was it?
So my first meeting with Salman Khan is actually not at the time of Tiger. My first meeting with Salman Khan happened before my first film, which is Kabul Express. And very strange. I was a documentary filmmaker who had come here, and I had this script of Kabul Express, and I was, trying to meet people, trying to meet producers. Somebody would back my film, and one of my friends, Appu, he's a common friend between Salman and me, and he said, "Do you want to meet Bhai?" So I said, who doesn't want to meet Bhai? But not for the film. I just wanted to meet Salman because, Salman was this big superstar, and I was really excited to meet him. So we went there, and I remember he was shooting an ad, and he was sitting outside his van, and we went there, and he said, I was introduced to him, and we started chatting, and he said, what are you doing? He said, I told him I'm trying to put my first film together. It's a small film. It's called Kabul Express. So he said, what is it about? So we went into his van. I told him a little about the story of Kabul Express, and I used to carry with me a DVD of footage from the documentary that I had done in Afghanistan, just to show people that I've been there, and I'm not talking through the top of my hat. There's research that's gone there. So I showed him some footage from my documentary in Afghanistan, and he really got excited. And he said, "This looks very good," and he started discussing the story and said, "I'll play that character." So we thought it's all fun and games, and we laughed and everything. And so that was the first time I met Salman and moved away. But strangely, that meeting came into play later in my career, because when we offered the role in New York to Katrina, and Katrina was a little taken aback by the kind of film that New York was. It wasn't a regular song and dance sort of routine. She wasn't sure. So she went back home, and those days she was with Salman, and Salman said, what is the film that Adi's offered you? And she said, a film called New York, and I'm not very sure about the film. And he said, who's directing it? And she said, somebody called Kabir Khan. So he said, I've seen his work years ago, and I think you should do the film. So that's how it happened. And then, of course, after New York, strangely, I ended up doing Ek Tha Tiger with him.
So it was then later for you as well, it was easier to convince Salman for Ek Tha Tiger and Bajrangi. Okay. So how would you describe Salman as an actor?
As an actor, I think he's very instinctive. He does not believe in, he's not a method actor. He doesn't sort of get into the zone of that actor and starts living like that character. He is somebody who approaches scenes by instinct. And it's amazing. He could be, laughing and whistling before the camera rolls, and the moment you say action, he just switches on and start crying like in 5 seconds. It's an amazing craft, I think, that he has. And everything is by instinct. So he has a gut feel about what the character should be doing, what the character in this situation should be doing, and that's how he approaches it.
So how has Salman evolved as a person from Ek Tha Tiger, or maybe from the first time you met him?
Well, I don't know as a person has evolved, but our relationship has evolved, obviously, because we spent now 6 years together and we've done 3 films. So there's a comfort level in terms of when we are on set, he understands exactly what I want in a scene. He knows how I tend to approach a scene. I know how he would like to approach a scene. So there's a little discussion that we have, and then we go about doing it. So there's not much time spent in discussion, because we understand each other much better now. Also, I think the way he's approaching characters today has changed. I think post Bajrangi there was a marked difference in the way he started approaching characters. He's looking for characters that I think are that are meaningful, that are saying something. They're not just characters who are just having a song and dance or action scene. He likes exploring characters who have something to say. So
your first film was Kabul Express, which was it was a socio-political, it was based on that genre. Then there was New York and Bajrangi Bhaijaan, Ek Tha Tiger, Phantom, and now this. So do you like these subjects, or is this genre in particular, or is just that these subjects came to you?
See, what I like is, I like putting a real context as a backdrop to my films. That is something I always like. The story, of course, will always be about the principal characters, because audiences identify and engage with characters. But my attempt is always to put a real political context to my films, because I think it makes it easier for me to tell the story. I think that backdrop has a bearing on the story of the characters, and just makes it more engaging. I have, as an audience, often struggled seeing films which are set without a context. I somehow can't enjoy those kind of films. So as I said, that's the reason why one of my favorite filmmakers in India is Mani Ratnam, because he's always so beautifully put a larger than life backdrop in all his films. And that is, in a certain sense, what I'm also trying and attempting to do.
So will we ever see you, dabble into a, say, slapstick comedy or something?
I don't know. I don't think one can rule out any genre. Ultimately, it depends on at that point in time what you get excited about. As of now, you were to ask me if I was to do a slapstick comedy without really any context, maybe no. I like treating humor as part of the narrative. So there is, even if I'm making a drama film, there's a lot of humor, right? Bajrangi had a lot of humor. Similarly, Tubelight has a lot of humor in it. So I would like to sort of bring in humor in certain situations in the film, in the narrative, and not maybe just. I wouldn't be very excited to make just a comedy film only about comedy. I don't think I have the expertise to do it. I mean, some people do it brilliantly and they're really enjoyable. I've enjoyed watching a lot of those kind of films, but I don't think I would get excited by doing that.
It was there in the trailer, like towards the end credit, that the movie is a remake of or an adaptation of Little Boy. But even the trailer, they had too many similarities, and now still many people are not aware of it, that it's an adaptation. Like I've seen on social media that they are accusing, okay, this is a remake of, or this is an adaptation of Little Boy. So what are your thoughts on that? Because we
are giving credit to the film now. If people don't choose to read that information or take it, that's their issue. But of course, we've said it's an official adaptation, and remember, it's an adaptation. We're not remaking it. So that's why the key word is adaptation. The reason why we picked up the rights of the story is because we felt that it can very easily be adapted and put into an Indian context, which is very important. I've been offered dozens of films by foreign studios to make these big Hollywood hits and remake them into Hindi. I've never been able to do that, but I've never been excited about it because I feel I can't put them into an Indian context correctly. This is a film that I got excited about because I saw it, and it's a very small film. Honestly, people know about Little Boy today because of Tubelight. Before Tubelight, nobody had seen the film. It's a very small film. But when I saw it, I really liked it. And something about the story plot points, the story points that I really liked, the backdrop of it. That film is about the teachings of Bible. So it's a very different context. I changed it to something else which was suitable for us. And yes, I mean, it is on record that we are an official adaptation. Now,
so that film, that didn't work there.
No.
So what was something that struck a chord with you, that I should, like, that film didn't work, but still I should make it for them?
Because see, the thing is, it's not a remake, right? If it's a remake, then you're a slave to exactly what it was. You take the seed of the idea and then you take it into create your own world. And that world, I think, is going to be very effective for India. So anything can inspire you. It can be a newspaper headline, it can be a book, it could be a personal experience, it's something you've heard about, it could be a film you've seen. So anything can inspire a thought, and that's what Little Boy did. It inspired a thought, and then we build on that.
Okay. So the character Salman playing in the film, it's a sensitive character, and I don't think many actors will be game for it. So how was it, convincing Salman, or how was it?
He reacted very positively to the story. I remember taking the story to him, telling him a brief outline of this is what I want to do, this is how I want to set it in India, this is the story of the two brothers. And he said, it sounds like a very nice film, it sounds like a very emotional, very nice, fun film. So he said, why don't you develop it and bring it back to me? So I went off for about 3 months. I wrote the entire screenplay, came back and narrated to him, and he instantly said yes. I think he enjoyed the narration, he enjoyed the character, and he said, yeah, it's a great film.
So one quality about Salman you hope never changes in the future?
I think his generosity. He lives his life larger than life, and I think that is something which is a great quality. He has a certain courage in approaching his life in a certain way. I think that is something that should never change.
So was it, you directed Ek Tha Tiger, now Tiger Zinda is coming, so was it, did you let go of that, because you
No, I never let go because I was never going to do it. I've gone on record and often said that I don't do sequels. After every hit film I've told, why don't you do a sequel to this? But for me as a director, it doesn't excite me. Maybe someday I might take up somebody else's film and make a sequel to it. It might excite me, but my own films, I don't think I'll end up doing a sequel, because for me, I've lived that journey with the character and I don't have anything new to say. maybe in the future there is a character that I've created, which I might feel excited about. But somehow I felt after Tiger, my journey with Tiger was over. So I did not feel excited to take it further.
So because you created those characters, so would you be too critical while watching, I would have done this, or this is not how he should behave or he should react?
No, I don't think so, because I'm sure Ali will knows the character and he will develop it and take it into his own world. As a director, he has the prerogative and privilege of taking it into his world and taking forward the character the way he thinks should. I mean, characters evolve, right? So I'm sure he has taken Tiger through a certain journey and it's his world. So when I watch Tiger Part 2, I'm watching Ali's world. I'm not watching my world. So I will, no, of course there will be references to the Part 1, but ultimately I will watch it as the world that Ali has created, and I'll enjoy that, and I'm sure it will be a very entertaining watch, a very exciting watch. From whatever I've been hearing and seeing, I think it will be grander, bigger, in terms of action, in terms of locations. There's some fantastic locations that I've seen photographs of, and I think it will be a truly exciting watch. I mean, more exciting than Part 1, because I do feel that the sequel should take the original further.
So there were reports that before Zhu Zhu, Deepika was on board and she rejected. So is it any true?
I mean, anybody who thinks that Zhu Zhu and Deepika been cast in the same role, I think they need to, have some logic in their mind. How Zhu Zhu and Deepika can be cast in the same role is beyond me. So I think I can't even answer this question.
I think maybe this has to do something because she played a Chinese character.
Yeah, but not in our film. We were never considering Deepika to play a Chinese actress. I mean, if I can access, today's day and age, you can access actresses and actors from around the world. Why would you take an Indian actor, and especially an actor of the stature of Deepika Padukone, and make her play a Chinese actress? I think it defies logic.
So Salman recently revealed in an interview that you went to him with another script which required him to don prosthetics, and he couldn't take it due to health issues. So he asked you to ask for this movie. So what's the status on that movie?
So that's also a script that is already ready, and he's right. I said, do you want to play this? But that does, because that character is in two different stages of life. There's one stage where he's very old, so it would require prosthetics, and Salman has this issue. He feels suffocated with prosthetics. In fact, we had one scene in Tiger where he was supposed to wear a fuller sort of a prosthetic mask, which he could, because he put it on and then he couldn't breathe. So we had to take it off. And that's the reason I said, yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do this character. Why don't we explore other ideas? And that's how I started exploring Tubelight. So I think that's very important. That the point is, any film that we do, ultimately both me and him have to be equally excited about it.
So are you planning that movie another hero?
Yeah, of course I will. I am going to do that film, but we haven't still locked or decided anything.
So while doing a historical film like Tubelight is there, so they have its plus and minuses, and many a times a maker is accused of distorting the history. So how, as a filmmaker, do you have to take extra care of the details?
I think obviously if you're dealing with any real life incident, any real life event that happened, whether it's contemporary or it's in the past, you have to be careful. We have a responsibility to do as much research as we can, and we make all attempts to be as authentic as we can. Yes, sometimes some slip-ups can happen, and have happened in the past with many films, but I think a filmmaker definitely will make an attempt to be as authentic as possible and research as much as they have to.
So what is that one trait about yourself you discovered while working with Salman?
What is that?
One trait about yourself you discovered?
Patience.
And any artist that inspires you?
Actors?
Actor or director?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them. I mean, I think there are so many promising actors around in the younger lot. There's so many, stars like Amir, Shah Rukh, Akshay, Hrithik. I mean, these are all people who I would be really excited to work with. Amongst the younger lot, there's Ranveer Singh, there's Ranbir Kapoor, there's Varun Dhawan. There's so many that one would be excited to work with. Amongst the directors, I love the work. A lot of my colleagues, Raju Hirani is my absolute favorite. I love Imtiaz's work. So I think there's so many people that one looks forward to see their work.
So if not for Salman, so do you think any other actor or duo could have pulled off these characters?
Once I've gone through that journey and now we have made it, honestly, I can't see anybody. But I'm sure that if for whatever reason Salman would not have done Tubelight and we would have gone to some other actor, then there would have been a certain... See, what I also do is I always rewrite a little after casting. So maybe it would not have been the same way as you're seeing it today. It might have been slightly different. But the story is, ultimately, I think story is the king. We all have to agree, even the audiences today ultimately are going for the story. So whether it's a Tubelight, whether it's Bajrangi Bhaijaan, whether it's Dangal, whether it's PK, the story is the star. And then, of course, when a superstar comes into the proceedings and that story becomes larger, the spread of that story becomes wider.
So what can we expect from your next with Hrithik?
I have not even announced my next with Hrithik, so you know, I don't know
Okay,
what
so
to
there is
expect
no
from the
official
film.
word on that.
No.
As a filmmaker and a movie lover, what is your takeaway from Tubelight?
I think I'm not in a position really to speak about it, because one is so close to the film that I still need to get that objective distance to view it dispassionately, and that only comes with time. I mean, I think it comes after 4-5 months of the film that I can view it very objectively and say, okay, this is the takeaway for me. But I think for the audience, it's a beautiful story of relationships. It's highly emotional. There's a lot of fun in it. It's been told in a very entertaining and engaging manner, and I'm sure sort of they'll walk away with a lot of thoughts in their mind.